My brother stole my girlfriend and my business idea that I told him about in confidence and launched it without me. He didn't even change the name. He failed in 6 months because he had no clue what he was doing. I launched the same concept properly, and it actually worked. Now my ex and brother are begging me for a second chance. I remember the exact moment I realized what kind of betrayal I was dealing with. It was a Tuesday morning, 7 months ago, when I opened my laptop and saw the promotional email. Parker's Premium Coffee. Grand opening this weekend. The logo was identical to the sketches I'd shown my brother Trevor during our camping trip 3 months earlier. Same font, same color scheme, same tagline I'd spent weeks perfecting. I sat there staring at the screen, my coffee getting cold in my hand. Trevor had listened to every detail of my business plan that weekend. I trusted him completely, shared my market research, my supplier contacts, even the location I'd been scouting in downtown Portland. He'd seemed so supportive, asking questions, taking notes on his phone. I thought he was just being a good brother, interested in my success. The worst part? The email included a photo of the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Trevor stood there grinning, scissors in hand, with my girlfriend Rachel right beside him. Her hand rested on his shoulder, that same way she used to touch me when we posed for pictures. She wore the silver bracelet I'd given her for her birthday 2 months ago. I called Trevor immediately. He answered on the first ring, his voice cheerful and completely unbothered. "Ethan, hey man, did you see the email? We're finally open." "We," I said, my voice steady despite the rage building in my chest. "There is no we, Trevor. That's my business idea." Silence and a laugh, not nervous or apologetic, just casual. "Come on, bro. You were taking forever to get started. Someone had to make it happen. Besides, you can't own an idea. That's not how business works. I shared confidential information with you as my brother. I trusted you, and I made it reality," he said, his tone shifting to something almost condescending. "Look, you're a dreamer, Ethan. Always have been. Me and Rachel were doers. We saw an opportunity and we took it. That's just smart business." The casual way he lumped himself together with Rachel, the easy possession in his voice when he said me and Rachel, told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't just about the business. This was a complete betrayal on every level. "When did this start?" I asked. "You and Rachel." Another pause. "Does it matter?" "Look, she wasn't happy, man. You were always working on your big plans, but never actually doing anything. She needed someone who could actually provide stability, take action." I stepped up. I hung up without another word. My hands were shaking so hard I had to set the phone down. 6 years. Rachel and I had been together for 6 years. We talked about marriage, about buying a house together, about building a life. And Trevor, my younger brother who I'd helped through college, who I'd lent money to more times than I could count, had stolen it all. The next few weeks were brutal. I watched from a distance as Parker's Premium Coffee struggled. Trevor had rushed everything. The location was wrong, too far from the business district I'd identified. His suppliers were overpriced because he hadn't done the relationship building I'd spent months on. The menu was a mess, a confused mix of trendy items with no cohesive theme. Every mistake was one I'd already solved in my planning, but he'd been too arrogant to ask or too stupid to figure it out himself. Rachel posted constantly on social media about their entrepreneurial journey together. Photos of them behind the counter, serving coffee with matching aprons, candid shots of Trevor looking stressed while she rubbed his shoulders supportively. The comments were full of people congratulating them, calling them couple goals, praising their courage to follow their dreams. I didn't comment. I didn't like or share. I just watched and waited. My best friend Marcus was the only person I told the whole story. We met at a bar one night, and I laid it all out for him over whiskey. When I finished, he just shook his head. "That's cold-blooded," he said. "Your own brother." And Rachel, man, I never trusted her, but I didn't think she'd go that low. The worst part is everyone thinks they're these amazing entrepreneurs. Nobody knows the truth. So tell them. Post about it. Expose them. I considered it. I really did, but something stopped me. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was strategy. I realized that me complaining publicly would make me look bitter and pathetic. It would give them ammunition to paint me as the jealous ex, the dream killer who couldn't handle their success. "No," I said finally. "I'm going to do something better. I'm going to make it work the right way. The ending will surprise you. Watch now at YouTube. Calm, daily, Tales time." Marcus raised his glass. "Now that's what I'm talking about. Show them how it's actually done." That night, I went home and revised my entire business plan. I incorporated every lesson I'd learned from watching Trevor's mistakes. I found a better location, secured better supplier contracts, refined my menu based on actual market research instead of guesswork. I worked 16-hour days for 3 months, barely sleeping, living off instant ramen and pure determination. The betrayal had lit a fire in me that nothing else could have. Every time I wanted to quit, I thought about Trevor's smug voice on that phone call. Every time I felt tired, I remembered Rachel's hand on his shoulder in that photo. I channeled every ounce of hurt and anger into building something that would prove I didn't need either of them. I called my business Waypoint Coffee. Different name, same core concept, but executed with precision and care. I soft launched on a Wednesday morning, 6 months after Trevor's grand opening. No ribbon-cutting ceremony, no social media blitz, just quality coffee, excellent service, and a location where actual customers actually existed. By the end of the first week, we had a line out the door every morning. By the end of the first month, I'd broken even. By month 3, I was profitable and expanding my hours to meet demand. The business grew organically through word of mouth and genuine quality, not Instagram posts and empty promises. And Parker's Premium Coffee, I watched it die slowly. First, the hours got shorter, then the menu got smaller, then the temporarily closed sign went up. 6 months after opening, Trevor shut it down completely. I found out through my mother, who called me in tears asking if I could help him financially. "He made some mistakes," she said, "but he's your brother, Ethan. Family helps family." "Did he ask for my help before he stole my business idea?" I asked quietly. "That's not fair. He didn't steal anything. He was trying to help you by showing you how it could be done." The delusion was almost funny. "Mom, I love you." But no, Trevor made his choices. He gets to live with the consequences. She hung up on me. We didn't speak for 2 months after that. Then, last Tuesday, exactly 7 months after that first email, I got a text from Trevor. No greeting, no apology, just "Can we talk? It's important." I left him on red for 3 days. On Friday, Rachel texted me from a number I didn't recognize. "Ethan, please, we need your help. Just hear us out." I blocked the number. On Sunday morning, they showed up at Waypoint Coffee. I was behind the counter training a new barista. When I saw them walk in, Trevor looked terrible. He'd lost weight, had dark circles under his eyes, wore a wrinkled shirt that looked like he'd slept in it. Rachel looked better but tired, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, no makeup. They stood in line like regular customers. When they reached the counter, Trevor tried to smile. "Hey, Ethan, place looks great." I didn't smile back. "What can I get you?" "We need to talk," Rachel said. "Please, just 5 minutes." Every eye in the coffee shop was on us now. My staff had stopped working. Customers were pretending not to listen while absolutely listening. You're holding up the line, I said calmly. Order something or step aside. Trevor's jaw clenched. 2 coffees, black, please. I made their drinks in silence, took their money, and handed over the cups. They moved to a table in the corner and sat there for 2 hours, waiting for me to have a free moment. I made sure I never did. Finally, just before closing, when the last customers had left and my staff was cleaning up, I walked over to their table. We're closing, I said. Time to go. Ethan, please, Rachel started. We made mistakes, we know that, but we're desperate. Trevor's drowning in debt from the business. I lost my job. We just need a second chance, I finished for her. That's what you need? Another opportunity to take advantage of my trust? It wasn't like that, Trevor said, but his voice lacked conviction. Then what was it like? I asked. Explain it to me. Make me understand how my brother and my girlfriend of 6 years decided that stealing my business plan and my relationship was just smart business. Neither of them had an answer. They just sat there, looking miserable, waiting for me to save them the same way I'd always saved Trevor before. Every failed venture, every bad decision, every time he'd needed money or connections or help, I'd been there. And the one time I'd needed his loyalty, his basic human decency, he'd chosen to betray me instead. But looking at them now, desperate and broken, I felt something shift inside me. Not forgiveness. I'd never forgive them. Not pity either. Just a cold, clear certainty about exactly how this was going to end. I pulled out a chair and sat down. Tell me everything you think I should know.